Microsoft Entra. I'm sure you guys are kind of confused that, hey Harsh, the title of this video is Azure Active Directory review or just the basic understanding of the user management in Azure Active Directory. Then why you're talking about Microsoft Entra? Guys, well, we are in year of 2023 and Happy New Year to all of you. And I would like to remind you that Microsoft is keep changing their whole structure. Especially, they are pushing a lot themselves to enable more secure environment for the organization, because nowadays attackers, hijackers, or hackers, they all trying to gather all of the data they can get and try to just ask for the ransom, or they try to blackmail certain organization. I'm talking about here not just the enterprises, obviously other small, medium, all sort of kind of organizations who is actually facing those challenges. If you don't believe me, just check it out over the Google and try to see the information on Dubai and that how many ransom attacks they got over the years. So Microsoft is trying to perform a foolproof structure or the infrastructure for the organization, that if they are moving their resources to the Microsoft Azure, they should definitely get a great sense of security, that hey, don't worry, we are here to protect you. We have all the services that you're looking for to enable protection for your resources, for your data. Hello guys, my name is HarshArena, and in this particular video we are going to learn a little bit more on Azure Active Directory, and I'll definitely talk about Microsoft Entra as well as the licenses, which is very important for you and for your organization, because you need to choose the right license to start enabling those security features. Now, before to jump in and before to talk about Azure Active Directory user management, I'd like to just remind you that why you are here in this cybersecurity course. Yes, I know you heard about Azure Active Directory. Yes, I know if you already watched my AZ-900 or AZ-104 videos, you are probably very much comfortable to understand that Azure Active Directory is a cloud-based identity and access management service offered by Microsoft on Azure. And not just that, Microsoft Azure Active Directory also enables with tons of features, tons of protection features that you can enable and provide to your users so that they can securely access to their internal or over the internet resources, because that is what the Azure Active Directory usually do. And with that particular thing, I can say it is also enabled with the security. And definitely we are going to talk about more in this particular course. And likewise, I was just talking about Microsoft Entra. And what is Microsoft Entra? It's a kind of a central place for this particular Azure Active Directory, where you can start securing your environment with the multi-cloud identity and access management. Not only that, Microsoft Entra and Azure Active Directory as a part of cybersecurity can help you to enable the security over your single sign-on, which will help you to, access your application with ease. And it doesn't matter whether you're sitting inside your organization or over the internet, you can get a secure access to all of your resources wherever you are and whatever you're trying to access with right authorization, mind you. Apart from that, Azure Active Directory in Microsoft Entra also offers the conditional access and multifactor authentication, which helps you to improve overall security. And another thing which is very important in terms of Azure Active Directory and introducing Microsoft Entra within Microsoft Azure, that is the governance. It actually helps you to gather the right information, get the right access to the right people, as well as when you're trying to access your resources, your Azure Active Directory must provide you the right authorization that, hey, you only have the read access, or you just have the read and write access. You can't delete, or you have the ownership of the data. All sort of these kind of governance things can be easily handled, managed within this identity management and the access solution. With that, obviously, it also involved with access reviews, which is a part of the identity protection. You can get the seamless user experience because sometime, when we are trying to log in with the user account, and if you are using any third party identity solution, sometime it happened that it's getting a little bit late to get authorized. It might taking some time to get respond, and sometime your services might not working as well. But with the Microsoft Entra and Microsoft Azure Active Directory secure environment, you can get 99.9% uptime from the Microsoft, which is a great one. I mean, you should believe that you are always up and running, and it doesn't matter whether Microsoft has any outage or not. They are committed to give you 99.9% uptime for Microsoft Azure Active Directory services. With that, you can also start enabling your hybrid security in case if you are running any of your server in on-premises. For example, here, if you have any server running in the old, in Windows Server 2012, 2016, 23, sorry, there was not 23 anyway, there's a 2012, 2008, all those servers, they actually love to use Active Directory. Active Directory is a on-premises identity management solution, and in this on-prem solution actually allows you to access all of your resources which is actually running within your organization. I'm not talking about here the over the internet, just within the organization. But right now with Microsoft Azure Active Directory, you can also connect your on-premises Active Directory to Microsoft Azure Active Directory, which means now you are capable to use both your internal as well as your internet, not internet, it's internet. Sorry guys, it's been a while. I was away from this internet and not making videos. I have the reason, I'll tell you at the end of this video. But anyway, just like to remind you that I'm certainly a human being and I can make mistake. So don't mind, and I apologize for my mistakes. Anyway, so here if you are using any of the services, for example, Dropbox, and if you are using in the Dropbox, sometime you like to use your Hotmail, Gmail, Yahoo, any other email IDs to sign up with the Dropbox, and that's how you are able to access your resources based on the subscription. But now you like to use your Active Directory or Azure Active Directory username and the password to log in into the Dropbox, then Dropbox can help you to set up your Azure Active Directory using an API. And with that API, you are able to log in with your username A or 1 or 2 or 3, whatever the name you like to use. And seamlessly, you can get the user experience. It doesn't matter wherever you are sitting over the internet or in the internal network, you can get the great experience with the single sign-on as well if you really want to. So the purpose to tell you, you can build a hybrid environment where you can run both your on-premises Active Directory as well as Azure Active Directory for that. And just to handle all sort of kind of user experience, especially I'm talking about here the governance, there's a single dashboard, or you can say the single place you can get all of these details, and you can get all this unified experience in Microsoft Entra. That was the main thing I want to tell you in year of 2023, because this is something new introduced in Microsoft Azure, and you must be aware. One last thing, with that said, that Microsoft is actually spending more than $1 billion annually just to start, introducing new features over the security part. I mean, they are introducing new security features. They are presenting, protecting all of their data securely to each and every person in this world who is actually using Microsoft Azure. It is really, really great. And I must say, with the identity management feature in Microsoft Azure, it's almost unbreakable. Because I use the word almost because I'm certainly know there are some hackers who can try to hack into Microsoft Azure, and I don't know whether they can do or not, but that's what Microsoft believe, that they can't. They can't log in into the secured way because they have enabled 3-time encryption in Microsoft Azure to protect your user identity. But why I'm telling you, just for your reference, you don't need to worry about that. But this is something you need to be aware in cybersecurity course of Microsoft Azure. And when I was talking about the user experience or the user management, obviously it's pretty easy to create a user. It doesn't matter whether you give the name user 1, user 2, or user 3. If they like to use any internal resource, they can do that. Also, if they like to use any of the external resource, which means sitting over the internet, again, they can do that because these users are actually synchronized or created directly in Microsoft Azure. And Microsoft Azure Active Directory is responsible for to provide seamless access to all of your internal and external resource without any single failure. Not only that, it also gives you the audit logs, sign-in logs, which helps you to identify where is this user, what time it was logged in, what was the resource he was trying to access, what kind of authorization this user has. I mean, all these bunch of details you can get in Microsoft Azure Active Directory, and that is a beauty of using this with the security features. That's what we are going to learn, and we will talk about that more in upcoming videos. And the second thing I would like to remind you and like to tell you that to achieve this, there are certain kind of licenses. Especially there are 4 licenses in Microsoft Azure. 1, Azure Active Directory free, Azure Active Directory Office 365, which is a part of a basic Azure Active Directory. Then the third one is the premium one and the premium 2. Obviously there are more like B2C, all those kind of Azure Active Directory bundled, or I don't say it's a license, but it's a kind of a bundle. But I'm not talking about those. Here are the more 4 different kind of licenses you must be aware, because once you start assigning those licenses to the user, it is so important in terms of security. And why it is so important in terms of security, I'm going to tell you now, and you must be very well aware. So guys, let's jump in and let's enjoy Microsoft Azure Active Directory in security. Now let's talk about Azure Active Directory plans. Yeah, for the pricing part, I think it is you have to discuss with your organization like how much money they want to spend. But for me, it is just an important thing to tell you that there's a huge difference between free, basic, not the P1 and P2. P1 and P2 is something like P1 has all the latest and greatest features, and in P2 is like you are getting some extra exclusive features on Microsoft Azure Active Directory, and of course not so much, only 3 or 4 extra features you are getting here. But obviously, just to tell you, if you are having a premium P2 license, it means you have everything you need in terms of security, in terms of management, governance. I mean, whatever you are talking about in Azure Active Directory, you can get in premium P2. P1, you still got security, you still got governance, management, everything, but with some limited features, like you won't get privileged access management, you won't get conditional access or access reviews. These are the exclusive features you won't get in P1, but except that, you can get everything in P1. For Azure Active Directory free, just to give you a brief idea, it's a free of cost, and you don't need to pay any money for this particular service in terms of free. But what you can get here is you can get, let's say, single sign-on. But single sign-on you can only and only enabled on 10 users. If you want to enable for more than that, obviously you need P1 and P2. Similarly, when you talk about the Office 365 free or the basic, again, you can enable only 10 users for single sign-on. Obviously, you can get multi-factor authentication and self-service password reset. These all features you can get in these free versions, but again, they are quite limited in terms of managing the enterprise and the medium and the big level organization. For small organization where you have only 10 users or 20 users or 30 users, that is absolutely fine. But if you are really hitting the right spot for the bigger enterprise level organization, I think the premium P1 and then the P2 is the right solution for you. Now, just to tell you what are the main differences here and what you can get, here are the details in this link. Just go to this link and you can get all the details that you're looking for and obviously to present in front of your organization management. Because what I have done is, if you don't want to go here, I have also created a separate PDF especially for you guys. You just need to go to that PDF and download from the from the description. And once you download the file from the description, you can get all sort of kind of features detail that what exactly been supported by these all different kind of licenses in Azure Active Directory in terms of plan. Obviously, I do not mention about the pricing because pricing are keep changing in Microsoft. So I think this is the right spot to come back to verify the price and then go ahead. Right now, I'm using the India location, so you can see the pricing in the Indian rupees. Certainly, you can go to US and all other countries wherever you want to wish for. And I think it can give you much more detail. So when you talk about a multi-factor authentication, like I said, it's been supported, it's good, no worries at all. But again, when you see these check marks, you can see which one is supported, which one is not. So if we go a little bit more in the application access, here you can get more details. Similarly for authorization. So my main point is I want you to remember, not all, because even you ask me, I even don't remember how many features has been currently supported and not supported by different licenses. The only thing I know, whenever I have to submit the detail, hey, go for premium P2. You can get everything that you're looking for. But yes, if my organization say, hey, I'm not interested to pay for privileged access management, then I don't mind. Then I said, okay, simply go to premium one, which can give you even more goodies. And you can have all sort of kind of advantages using this thing. But again, some additional access or management features or governance feature you won't find in P1. As an example, entitled management. This is what you won't get in P1. Access certification and the reviews you won't get in this P1. And also, like I said, privileged identity management, PIM, you won't get in P1. So similarly, you can get the details here and gather as much as information you want to get. That's all gonna help you. And similarly, how you can identify which license is currently assigned to you, what is the best way to find out this? So what you can do to understand that more, simply go to your portal, Azure portal, log in with your administrator account, and then go to Azure Active Directory. Though I have opened it, that's why you can find, otherwise you can search for it. And once you click on Azure Active Directory, it's my older account where we used to perform the action. And that's what they mention about Microsoft Entra has a simple integrated experience, blah, 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 blah. You want to try, go ahead and try, because right now I don't want to try. So I just want to show you what I want to show you. So here, just want to tell you that here's the detail of the license. Its current license is Azure AD free. Now, if you have a Azure AD free, you can't use custom security attribute, which is a premium feature actually. And also, If you want to understand which features you can't access, you can also go to licenses. And once you go to the licenses, click on license features. And as soon as you click on license feature, on the right hand side, you can see you have yes, 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 yes. These all features is currently supported by Azure Active Directory, and of course the free license. But if you go down, you can see there's a couple of additional features like password protection for Windows Server, and self-service password reset, blah blah blah, application proxies. These all features is gonna supported by Premium P2 basically. And if you want to try out the Premium P2 for a couple of months to show kind of a functionality to your organization in the real world, what you can do also, you can simply click on try Azure AD P2. Again, like I said, you have to get permission for this pilot project for your production environment, and I never ever suggest to enable this in your production environment. I want you to try out this feature for a couple of months. Once you agree to use these all features, once your organization is in need to use these features, then go ahead and purchase the right license. Otherwise, here's a good deal for you, because it is gonna be enable the license for 90 days for the Premium P2. So simply hit free trial, because here you are only getting Azure AD Premium P2, but with this enterprise mobility and security E5, you can also get Microsoft Intune. If you like to learn something more, you can get that. You can get 250 trial licenses for the users, again for the 90 days, where you can having the complete list of features. And I like to tell you, I have already used it. So if I click on activate, you can see it's gonna fail because I have already tried and used it before. So that's how you are getting the error, for me at least. But for you, I'm certainly 100% sure if you have not tried this feature yet, you can get 90 days access to it, and you can enjoy the full functionality of Azure Active Directory. Now, apart from that, with the free license, of course, it's a good thing. Like if I go to the users as an example, and if I go to the users and here is the sign-in logs, you can get the sign-in logs at what time the user logged in. As an example, here's my user. He logged in. He uses single factor authentication, which means just the user and the password. I have not enabled the multi-factor authentication. You can get all sort of detail that can help you to troubleshoot the issue of the sign-in. Basically, location from where this user logged in. Though I'm sitting in Chandigarh, but my ISP is showing Ambala, Sadar, Haryana. It's absolutely fine with me. What are the device info? Because I'm using the Mac operating system, that's why it's telling me, and I'm using a Chrome based browser, though I'm using Microsoft Edge, which is a Chrome based browser. So that's how, guys, it is gonna give you all bunch of details that is required in terms of troubleshooting your issues. But like I said, it's a basic thing, and it's a free version of Active Directory, and audit logs as well. But as you can see right now, there are no audit log has been generated because I have not configured yet. And there are a couple of default options you can find out here. Self-service password reset you can get, and you can enable security, mobility based on your requirement. But like I said, some of the feature won't work because you have Azure AD free. Now, one last thing before to jump into the next point. In case you try to enable the premium Azure AD Premium P2 license for 90 days and it got failed and somehow it is not working, what you can do is you can also come back to this link, which is it's sometimes quite difficult to find out. Just go to this link, and in this link, go down and obviously create a new user, and then try out with enterprise mobility and security E5, because with this you can get again 3 months of free functionality of use for the Azure Active Directory P2 to try out all the practices that we are going to perform in the cybersecurity course. So I think it's a good idea to try out, and of course you can get a bunch of details. What is the difference between these E3 and E5 licenses specifically, and it can gives you the better idea to choose the right license for your organization. So yeah, I mean, that to be all. This is what I like to highlight. I like to remind you, especially when you are dealing with the licensing part in your Microsoft Azure at the moment. So let's jump back to the OneNote and try to gather a little bit more information, and then we move forward ahead. Now guys, we are back on our presentation, and like to remind you in a quick way, we have already discussed about these Azure Active Directory licenses. These are the two links I have already just show you, and don't worry, I'm going to also copy these two links to the description, so it will be easy for you to go through and get the details as much as you want. Also, I try to differentiate the licenses here in the example, and of course give a little bit formation to the data that can help you with very precise information to discuss within your organization. And one last thing, I also copied the same data into the PDF, and you can download this PDF from the description itself. So here you can get the details about the core identity, external identity, the access management, and the Office 365 application. So which one is available, which one is not, all those kind of details you can get right under this place. So nothing fancy. I just like to walk you around here that I have copied all of the data just for you to review the information. And whenever we talk about the security, don't forget to review this identity protection, because this is what we are going to test, we are going to try in the cybersecurity training videos. So be ready, and like I said, make sure you have enabled the premium P2 license to do all the practices that you're looking for, because if you don't have the premium P2, it's really hard for you to do the practices, and I personally don't want you to suffer at any stage. So just go enable it, and if you find any difficulties, follow my suggestion. Go to that second link, which is this one, and create a new account, and obviously registered for another 90 days if you are unable to configure those 90 days license for the Azure AD P2 in your previous Azure account. So right now we are going to go and review the license with the premium P2. What are the differences you can get? And then we can simply wrap up the video for the day. So let's jump on the Azure AD once again and try to review and understand a little bit more with the P2 license right now. Now we are on the Azure portal, but this time I am logged in with my another domain or the user account. The name of this user account is harshjangra@harsharena.onmicrosoft.com. Don't worry, I'm going to enable my custom domain into this particular Microsoft account, but just want to tell you this is gonna be the full featured practices that we are going to perform in this particular portal. Right now, I am with the premium P2 feature on Azure portal, and we can try and test all of the thing right under this place. And if you go to the Azure Active Directory, you can see right now I have the Azure AD Premium P2 license. And with this, we can certainly enable custom security attributes. We can enable, we can review, we can discuss, we can try. Not only that, if I go back to the Azure Active Directory and if I click on the access review, usually it won't work with the Azure AD free account, but this time at least it is allowing us to start configuring new access review. Again, there's a couple of additional features, like I said, privileged access management. Also with the mobility, MDM and MAM, these features you can get, including the identity governance, application proxy, all those advantages you can get using Azure Premium P2. And that is what I request you all to try out and make sure you have configured configure this with a good way so that at least we can do these practices, perform some testing without any failures. So this is just to tell you that once you have the right license, from where you can get the detail. But specifically, if we talk about the subscription, at least we can try to see that what kind of subscription do we have at the moment. So as you can see right now, I have not assigned any subscription to my account. If you want to add, you can certainly go ahead, click add, choose your right subscription, and go ahead and try out with the features or pay as you go, which is again how much you use, you pay more. So I think it's a good idea to try out. If you are a student, I highly recommend you to select this offer and avail as much as discount you can get from Microsoft Azure. But at the moment, I think the good idea is to configure pay as you go, because this is going to help us to start creating those resources into my Microsoft Azure. So just to tell you at the end, this is all I want to tell you in this video. I think you can get the enough information and the detail about Azure Active Directory in cybersecurity, why it is so important, why it is again important for you to assign the right license so that you can start practicing all sort of kind of functionality in terms of security in Microsoft Azure Active Directory, and that is why you need to choose the right license, right? So yeah, that to be all. And I'd like to tell you why I was not here for last couple of months is because I'm dealing with some personal, some family and financial issues. I'm still struggling with the financial issues, but let me try to ask help from you. If you really want to help me, do that. If you don't, no problem. I'm still welcoming you and try to help you to provide as much as knowledge I can get for you, and I can provide you at least because I recently spent some money on getting a good machine just to perform these all actions without any hassle. That was my target, and I spent all of my savings into the same. So let's work hand to hand, and I know once you get a free of cost kind of a training with the good content, at least with the right practices, I'm sure you also gonna enjoy, and you are enjoying all sort of details, and I really appreciate your support and help. Keep supporting, and I'm coming up with all the new videos in upcoming time, and certainly I'm looking forward the support from you as well. So yeah, I'm not gonna say today that what is the personal problem and all other issues, but it actually brings me down. In for a couple of days I was quite not feeling well. Even I joined a gym recently just to make my health in a good shape, because I'm a diabetic patient and really struggling a lot in terms of my health. But I'm getting back. I'm trying my level best to make myself more stronger, so that I can make those videos, because like I said, I'm struggling a lot in last couple of months, but I'm back now, and I'm trying my level best to provide you these videos periodically without any long break. That's for sure. So please, for now, take care of yourself. God bless you. And thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this video finds helpful and informative to you. I'm looking forward to see you in the next video. Till then, take care. Goodbye. I need your support, guys. Peace.